are here.
Finally, all three bros back at it again.
Yeah, how was hanging with the hill people, James? How'd that go, dude? Was that fun times?
Man, I was milking a cow, dude. We ended up going to get some Wagyu beef, dude. We had some good stuff, man. It was good. It was a good time, man.
Shoot,
it was a good time.
Wagyu beef, can't go wrong with that, dude. I love that.
Cannot.
Fresh from the farm, dude. Fresh from the farm too. So
speaking of which, that raw milk, I'll tell you what, dude. You can't get. Did you get a lot of that or what? What's the deal?
Yeah.
Nah, we didn't get any of the milk or anything. I didn't have anything to put it in, so we were just milking a cow because the cow kept producing. Just had a calf basically, so we just had to just get a bunch of the milk out of it and everything. It was its udders were full.
Just got to get it straight from the teat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. You got to get that milk tested. They got all kinds of little things. They got the listeria. It ain't good. It ain't good. It'll kill your liver, dude. It'll kill your liver. But anyways. But all right, guys, we got a good show. We're going to talk defense this week, ain't we?
Defense, yeah. We'll dig into defense position by position, kind of where maybe the weaknesses are on the defense. Obviously, we've got a couple other little slides too of recaps during the week and everything and the news that happened this week. So, good show for sure.
The news that happened this week is in we dropped bombs on Iran. Is that what you're talking about? Oh, we're talking about football still. Okay, got it.
Football.
Hey, no politics here. Yeah.
Yeah, none of that.
Got it. That's true. No politics. No politics. All right, guys, we got plenty to get into. Okay, let's get into it.
Let's
go.
What's up, Kermit, man? You watching the Boat Bros podcast. Stay tuned.
Charter blue dreams, stadium lights gleam. Boat Bros on the beat, lead stream. Chargers rocking speeds, Sonic supreme. From the podcast to the field, we're a team. Charged up, Boat Bros on the night. LA Thunder in electric delight. Bolts in the battle, sparking bright. Charged up, ride the lightning, feel the fright.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So this will be good. So James milked a cow, ate some Wagyu. Did you have some straw coming out of your mouth?
I had overalls on. I had some cow manure on my shoes. All that business, dude. Yeah, it's funny though when you're up there. Like my wife's family is so interconnected throughout all there, and we go into the Wagyu farm and bought some Wagyu to bring back, and come to find out they're just cousins and everything too, and it's just everybody knows everybody. And that's why she always said that she had to leave Arizona to be able to marry somebody who's not her family member. So, which is what she did. So moved to California. We met. Hey, there we go. So
inbreeding is no bueno, guys. No bueno. We don't need that. We don't need that.
Bueno.
No inbreeding. No inbreeding, guys. Okay, that is not Boat Bros approved. So
that is not. It was a Targaryen approved. It's Targaryen approved.
It's Targaryen. That's right. Little game of GOT. There we go. Got it. Okay.
Yep.
But it was good. It was good to be up there. It was still hot as balls up there in comparison to still down here. It's just felt like it was still super hot up there, but whatever. It was good.
Oh, big time.
It was good.
It's been nice out here in Utah so far. It's been great, man. It's been good. But anyways, that's enough of that. But okay,
thick of it here in Arizona, dude. It's hot.
It's getting spicy.
That's right.
Hot. Muy caliente for my Spanish-speaking folks.
Okay, well, we got a show to go. Let's hop in that show. I'm gonna add a slide at the end here as well, too, bro. On our presentation, so that's right. They're gonna get an extra slide.
Oh, and okay. I'll throw up one of the slides real quick that I thought was kind of a slap in the face to the Chargers. Once again, it's Madden football, but this is basically the screenshot of all the team's overall rankings in Madden. So basically, Chiefs being
Dolphins,
number 1,
89.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you got the Browns at 87, the Lions, Cowboys at 88, 89 Dolphins, and then you even got us in the area of the Jags at 82.
Yeah,
Saints at 83. They're above us. They don't even have a quarterback. What is going on here? Like,
dude, and how are the Rams are at 82 right with us? Because I'm not joking. I think the Rams they're a top 10 team, dude. They got plenty.
Yeah, they're doing good.
They're juiced up, dude. They're juiced up.
Yeah.
Rocked up. Raiders at 81 and we're at 82. What is going on here? And then they put the Broncos at 79, which I mean, I got a Bronco fan and I keep bagging on their offense because I was like, who you got to throw to over there? Like, I don't think you really got that good of an offense. You have a very good defense. I don't think you got an offense at all. Like, but anyways, I think these are a bunch of BS rankings.
That's kind of what happens. What I've learned after doing some Madden things with everyone is that, like, Madden does not like the Chargers. Period. EA, they got their priorities all messed up. So and I'm like, take this with a grain of salt, though. Like, hey, it's all good. I like it when they underestimate us because then it gives us a bit of an advantage, I'd say.
Yeah, so I met an EA video game developer, one of the biggest nerds I've ever met my whole life. He always had to make a comment on everything. Oh, no, this is this and this is that. I'm like, whoa, okay, bro, like, good. Anyways, but it was funny. But he doesn't work on Madden. I was going to rip on him, if he did, but he's working on some other stupid game. But anyways, my point is, he looks like Kermit the Frog. Okay, I know it's a roundabout way of saying that, but he looks like Kermit the Frog is ranked number 1. Okay, there we go. Kermit the Frog here,
Kermit the Frog here. Yeah, no joke, man. But I think it is kind of funny that the Niners are 92 on there. Yeah, you kind of think of the amount of loss that they've had on that team, and you're like, 92? Like, there's a little favoritism going on. Well,
and then, I wonder if this Commander's 78. That makes no sense. Broncos 78 makes no sense.
Are you sure that this is not 2024 Madden, not 2025 Madden?
This is what I saw for 2025. Everybody was saying that. Everybody was saying that.
Man.
So pretty crazy. That's what I saw this week. So news this week. This is what it was. So.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense, dude. It doesn't make any sense at all. But anyhow, what it is, I guess. Maybe let's just prove them wrong, boys. Prove them wrong. So
what? Hey, did you move rooms, James? You in a different room?
Yes, I did. Well, no, I moved to the other room because the other room has.
I was gonna sound like your background looks totally different now. I was like, what just happened?
Totally. I got my pickleball medals right here. See, they're all hanging right here, dude. Pickleball medals. Little nieces put some sign over here too. Yeah,
there you go.
Different room.
I still screw you on the pickleball court. Let's just make that clear, okay? Let's make that real clear.
Boy,
no big deal. Okay. No big deal. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay to be number 2. It's okay to be number 2.
He's number 1 at everything.
No disrespect. No disrespect. Nothing wrong being number 2. It's okay. It's okay.
Too funny.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So, anyways,
moving on.
Yeah. Interesting thing that we saw on Electric Avenue's Instagram, by the way. This is a picture and a video they put on their story just an hour ago.
Whoa.
Basically, they're saying this is what the pink lot looks like. And if you know anything about the pink lot, that's where the pregame happens. Electric Avenue, basically got Lightning Lane, all that stuff. Everything, Thunder Alley is all there. And right now they're saying this is the lot. It doesn't make any sense when I'm seeing that parking lot there because I don't remember seeing the parking lot there at all when you're at the pink lot. But we're asking the fans, go over there and check it out and see if this is actually where the pink lot that we do Thunder Alley at. So
are they moving it?
So
I don't know. I don't know. We don't know yet.
What my suspicion is that James, if you can grab that the pen and highlight that parking lot area right there.
This right here?
No. The structure.
The
structure.
Yeah. My suspicion is that is the casino parking lot. So this is I think that is the pink lot across from Thunder Alley, Electric Avenue.
Could be
and all that stuff. So that's where like the kind of like I call that. I guess I would call just that the overflow like area. I would say. Yeah, it's like
It would be weird though for them to move the pink lot though. Like at this point, like why would they do that? It just doesn't make any sense. Who knows? Of course, even last year they weren't even going to do it. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And there was like a lot of rumors that they were going to get rid of the pink lot last year, and maybe this is just the year they're finally doing it. I felt like this was the structure when we walk in, kind of near NFL Network and everything. And I kept thinking like, oh, that's that kind of area, because that area over there looks like it's kind of like the ground looks kind of grimy and everything. I think it's also where the players park at and too, in that general area. But I was thinking it was that area. But anyways, something's going on with Pink Lot right now. Hopefully it's not meaning that we will not have, Thunder Alley. That would be awful if that happens, because that's like one of the best parts of going to the games.
It is absolutely one of the best parts. I mean, dude, tailgate's undefeated, man. I mean, it's you gotta go.
Anyone in the chat, like if you're out there in LA, man, go do some investigating for us and hit us up. Just let us know what's up. Okay, get down to business. Kind of comb the desert. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, kind of comb it, baby.
They are doing a Spaceballs sequel, so it's exciting.
It's good. A lot of the original actors, and it even specifically that comb scene, that actor's coming back too, by the way. Too, so pretty good. Yeah, pretty
that's
good.
Amazing.
So
that's amazing.
I can't wait for that. That's going to be good. So anyways, anybody go out there and investigate the Pink Lot. We want to know what's going on because we want Thunder Alley. And you know what? They got a couple months to get that parking lot right. If that's the case. Get that parking lot so we can make sure we got Thunder Alley.
I'll say this. I'll say this. If you guys actually go out there and recreate that Spaceballs scene in the parking lot,
oh my gosh,
I'll give you a whole bunch of Bolt Bros merch.
There you go.
Instantly. Yeah, it's like nope, hands down, making that happen.
That would be amazing. I don't know how you get a big comb though. You have to do like a paper mache comb.
Figure it out. Figure it out.
That's for your homework to do, man.
That's your homework.
That's for you to figure out. Okay, we got the merch. Speaking of which, we got to get our new merch out there, dude. Come on, we got to these ideas. We got to quit lagging on it.
We got to get this stuff out. Exactly.
Hey, man, I'm in the middle of like freaking studies and stuff like that. So I ain't got no time for it. So if you want to show,
got no time for that.
I ain't got no time for it, man. If you want to pick up a pen and start drawing, then you can do it.
Well, we'll talk offline. We got to get it done. We got to get some new stuff out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, moving on to the next slide here, guys. So once again, this week, the Chargers did talk about a glimpse, or at least the idea that there is going to be a new alternate uniform unveiled July 15th, which is the day before, I believe, training camp opens to the public, or at least training camp starts for the players, either which way.
Oh, yeah.
So pretty cool. Now, once again, I want to say, Kyle, you looked around at the Royal jersey, the one that I'm wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying that they got rid of the Royal jerseys, or they're not listing the Royal jerseys.
Yes.
So once again, this was an alternate jersey, obviously. The Navy is an alternate jersey too.
Yeah.
So they're probably getting rid of the Navies completely and maybe getting rid of the Royals. I like the Royals a lot, which kind of made me think that, and I saw that there was something to do with during the media shoot that there was like a picture of the 80s, kind of the Dan Fouts, Kellen Winslow type era jerseys.
Yep.
And which would be kind of something just like this one right here.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if they might be bringing back something similar to this one. So I don't know if that's going to be what they're going to do or whatnot. But when I look at this photo, and Kyle thinks it's not what I'm seeing, right? But it looks like there's kind of an electric shock, kind of like blue around the bolt with a darker color internally with that.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they're going to do something like that, where they're just going to create kind of some more different kind of shock blue colorway with a navy bolt in there. I don't know, but what's your guys' thoughts? What do you think the alternate jersey is going to look like?
Man, I wouldn't want it to be white like that. I would want it to be a very different color to me.
Yeah.
Because we already got a good looking white jersey. So that's just a little bit weird to me if that's the case. Man, I mean, but here we go. We got eggnog. Black with powder blue helmets. That'd be sick. I agree.
Kind of cool.
All powder blue would be good because we're known for powder blue. That's what we're known for.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the throwback helmets. I've always liked also that the Charger logo with the shield.
Yeah.
We were the original ones that have the shield too. And then the Raiders ripped us off on that, So anyways, that's just kind of my take. I mean, powder blue is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm right up there with you, Liam.
Yeah, so I kind of been doing some educational deductions, I guess I would say. And I kind of feel like if we're going to get something, it's going to be there's two options. Because we're gonna get that new helmet. It could be like a Navy helmet, could be even a Royal helmet. That could be something completely new. And that's kind of like more what I'm leaning towards on something like that. So it's probably a Navy something. And so if that's the case, then we may see the Royal jersey again, but in a modern refresh of the one that you just showed there. Yeah. But like a modern style of that one. So like with the white outline, that's kind of like where like my primary numbers are with it. But if anything, it could also just be the original, kind of like the set that we had from the 2000s, which was the navy, the white, and the powder blue. And so it could be that navy, in that set as well. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. And to go back into what you were talking about, that Dan Fouts era jersey from like the promo things, well, that was debunked because that was just one of the backdrops from the studio the content studio. That wasn't something that they were actually going to be they're shooting with or whatever, but that was just one of like the people on the wall in the content studio. So
interesting. Yeah. And what is it? Matt Money Smith talked about it actually on Chargers Weekly, and how much he hates the Navy jerseys. Yeah. And to me, I love the Navy jerseys. Like,
we're winless in the Navies. Yeah.
And that's where it's like, okay, get rid of them for the moment, bury them for a bit, because we can't win a dang game in those dang Navy jerseys. I get it, but like, I love the Navy jerseys. Like when I think of the 2000s era with LT, I think, when the San Diego Fires happened and they moved a game here to Arizona, I came to that game and they went full Navy top to bottom, and it was such a dope looking uniform, like so good. But I understand the idea of the powder blues are basically like, that is our color, and we want to lean very heavily into that color. That's where like it would be awesome if they do go full powder blue top to bottom, which if you watch the Padre game against the Royals yesterday, the Royals essentially had a full powder blue jersey, or at least a baby blue type jersey top to bottom. And I was like, kind of kept looking at that like, yo, it's pretty dope, man. Like pretty dope.
I'm down with that. I've always said that I'd love it just be straight powder blue. That's it. Whoop.
That would be awesome.
Nuts to butts.
Cool. Whoop, there it is.
Top to tails, tits to bits, all the above, dude. Like just powder blue.
I would love it. I would love to see it, man. It would be really, really good. So Pablo's saying Navy helmet with the Navy jersey, throw out the white helmet, please. Exactly. That's what we were saying after the last game against the Ravens last year. We said, hey, look, let's get rid of the white helmet and just go Navy. That shifts the jersey. The vibes, everything like that for that jersey would be looking just good. Navy. Dude.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Powder blue all the way up and down, and then all navy up and down. You know what I mean? Then you have a white alternative. That would look great. Three colors just looks. I just think those look the best. I don't like the yellow pants. I've never liked the yellow pants personally. I still don't like them. So I'm just saying those are our 3 colors. Let's own them, and everyone else can suck it. That's what I'm saying.
I'm with Jorge. I'm with Jorge here. I'd be down for an all yellow. That'd be dope.
Oh man, look like a banana running around out there, dude. Hey, look like a banana, dude. This ain't the bananas, Savannah bananas. You don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah, we the Savannah bananas, the Savannah bolts. That's right.
Bolts.
I was thinking the reason why we got the yellow pants is because Jim Harbaugh was rocking them khakis. You're just trying to say keep khakis, like keep that khaki looking color, that yellow color. I don't know. Hey, be like Coach, I guess. Be like Coach. So good.
The banana bolts. Here we go.
Banana bolts. And by the way, Pablo put out a message out there. It's talking about a meetup that's happening in San Diego on the 12th too. I was actually just going to pull it up right now too. Just want to make sure we kind of have everybody on the stream see that. It's out in, oh my gosh, I don't know where it's at in the comments, but it went past us here a little bit.
So it's talking about the Swoop and D,
July 12th, I think.
Yeah. So it's back to the tailgate weekend or something. Here, let me see if I can pull it up here.
Yeah, I'm all looking around for it anyways. But I thought that's something that would be good to basically get things kind of fans getting hyped up, ready for the season and everything too. I'm just trying to pull it up on the screen.
Yeah, Swoop and D tailgate at the Bay, Saturday, July 12th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Paradise Point, San Diego, California, summertime. There's gonna be tailgate, barbecue. Players gonna be there. cornhole tournament, backpack for schools. So it's a bit of a charity drive too. So if you get a backpacks and fill it up with some school supplies, that'd be what's up. And you'll put your name into a raffle and stuff. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of tailgaters, official tailgaters that are going to be there. Bolt School, Bolt Rachos, the Los Rayos, Osiders, Bolt Pride Worldwide, Bolt Dog's going to be there. Yeah, man, everyone. Die Hard Bolt Club, IE Die Hards, you name it.
Love it. It's going to be a good turnout then. That's going to be a great time right there in San Diego too. So
and you can also take a picture inside of the helmet cart that was with the San Diego Chargers back in the day. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sick. Didn't they drive that a couple times and then bring it up to games and drive it through Thunder Alley too? I remember that happened a couple times too. And it hasn't been, I don't think last season I remember seeing them driving around there, but I'm sure that's a chore to drive that all the way from San Diego up to LA to be able to drive through Thunder Alley in that thing, dude. But that'd be good. July 12th, Mission Bay. Go on out there, guys, in San Diego. It's dope. Dope time, man. It'll be good. So
Paradise Point.
Let's go. Moving on to the next level. What do you have, Kyle? You look like you wanted to say something there. Nope. You were about to say something. Oh.
Nope.
All right. Moving on. Chargers Weekly. Our great leader, Jim Harbaugh, khakis and all, white Nikes out there doing his thing. Glasses, no glasses. Jim Harbaugh came on the set at the Bolt. Chris Hayre got that outfit. Look at that outfit, rocking them that plaid.
Like I said,
he's always looking fresh.
He shot a couch and then made a scoot out of it. I don't know what happened there. By the way, can I just say something? I cannot stand this look with suits and stupid white sneakers, dude. It just bothers me. Does it bother? Does anybody bother anybody else?
I get it.
Like, if you're wearing a suit, wear some nice shoes, man. Like, come on.
I mean, that's fair.
It really aggravates me. It's like, dude, come on, bro. Like, it's just, it's. I know it's what people want to do, but it looks so stupid to me. I cannot begin to tell you how annoying it is, dude.
It's funny because a lot of people that are on TV, it's always kind of like, all right, they just got to show the top. Maybe they'll have some nice pants, but the shoes, they always have like some standard shoes because they don't you don't see their shoes that often. And, hey,
true.
It is what it is. I mean, I think Matt Money Smith leans heavily into the surfer side of things, rocking some Vans over there, some slip-ons. But hey, he's looking fresh. He's looking fresh. He's looking good, dude. He's looking good.
He was trying to predict what Jim Harbaugh was going to wear to the meeting.
Yeah,
he's got the khakis on, so and a polo, so he was trying to match Jim Harbaugh for the day.
That's right. He's
didn't quite get it. Yeah,
exactly.
Get on your vibe, dude. Try to get on your vibe, dude.
Yeah.
But didn't Harbaugh get a new plastic hip or something like that too? Didn't he say something like that? Yeah, new hip.
New hip, he got a new hip. He also had a heart situation there too, so he had 2 surgeries there and everything. Because I mean, last year he was kind of hobbling around a little bit. Obviously, in that one game, I can't remember which it was that he had a high heart rate and everything too, and they hit him with a magnesium bag real quick. Boom, knocked that thing down real quick. But yeah, he's still got a heart of a lion, is what they say, dude. He's got a heart of a lion, and but. Bottom line, what this interview is, and the key point that I got out of this entire interview, I know we're going to be talking about defense and everything, but he jumped very heavily onto the offensive line. And he talked like an extensive, long answer on just the offensive line. And even if it's funny, Chris Hayre and Matt Money Smith said, hey, look, all the fans keep talking about the O-line too. And he's like, oh, man, like, great to hear that. It's all about the fans. Like, I'm glad they're focusing on the O-line because, that's the tip of the spear. And talked very heavily about Joe Alt basically looking like he could be an all-pro, gold jacket kind of guy. Like, I mean, I think statistically wise, like Joe Alt was like 4th in the league versus the pass. It was just more about the run game situation with him. And after basically the Houston Texan game, like you got a different level of Joe Alt this year where he's just going to focus very heavily on the run game, be a better run blocker. Talked about Jamari Sawyer coming in with a better look all around. Andre James, Bradley Bozeman is a phenomenal left guard. You got obviously Zion. They want to put him. It seems to me like they really want Zion to be the center basically on this team. And then obviously you got, Rashawn Slater, a guy who is in that magnificent 9 is what I'm going to call it as. And those elite guys
9.
on the team.
No. He said the 10 now because Josh Harris.
Josh Harris. So he added Josh Harris. Oh, wow.
Nice.
Added to the list.
Yeah.
Add that to the patches, dude. Like that they talked about, dude. You know. But bottom line, offensive line is going to be a focus 100% of the time we have Jim Harbaugh as a head coach. Go back to Bobby Ross. You know, he always would say you win and lose games at the line. If you don't have a good O-line, you're not going to have a good offense. You're just going to have a mediocre offense. If you have a great D-line, you'll have generally a very good defense all around. So the lines matter the most. And I love to be able to hear that because, once again, Bobby Ross got us to our one Super Bowl. And I think Jim Harbaugh is going to get us and lead us there. So, once again, the offensive line will always be a point of emphasis with this team. So,
yeah, I think the main thing I figured out, I didn't love this interview as much as I enjoyed Greg Roman's. I'll just leave it at that. I give this one like a B+. And maybe just because I kind of felt like he was all in, and maybe this is partially because I was so focused on the offense, but he was a little all over the map in this interview. I didn't really feel like it flowed the way as I kind of wanted it to.
I feel that's Jim Harbaugh in general, though. But
that is true. That is true. Again, he speaks our language because we're kind of that way too. But
exactly.
But here's my point on it. Like my biggest thing I took away was they really want to commit to Zion Johnson being the center because then you can move Bozeman to left guard. And dude, Bozeman's big. Dude, he's 6'4", like 250 or something like that. He's big. So, and Zion, you know, he said, look, he can get to that next level. He could hit the Mike linebacker and move forward and just drive. And he really is built more as a center. So I think that's what they've got to focus on is really making that work. And if they can make that work, that's huge. That's probably the biggest thing I took away from this. And then he talked about the patches and other things like that as well too, which I think we've already talked about quite a bit. But I think it's going to be pretty interesting. I don't know. Listen to Greg Roman before you listen to this one. I know that sounds terrible because he's our head coach, but my point is I felt like there was a lot more information in that one, in my personal opinion.
But isn't that a Jim Harbaugh thing, though? Like, he doesn't want to give too much information, and especially in the not even preseason per se. You're in the offseason still at this point. He always kind of likes to be a little secretive about things. You know, it's always – what was last year? They always try to get information out of him about injuries, and he'd be like, well – you know, I'm not the guy to talk to on that or something like that. I can't remember his words that he used on that, but I'm not a doctor, kind of thing. Like, yeah.
HIPAA laws. Well, yeah, and again, he's also talking about the entire team, not just one side of the ball, right?
Exactly.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So I guess I felt like it was a little more specific, and that's what I liked about it.
That's better than when we kept getting that stupid soft tissue issue, spiel from that non-answeredness.
Doesn't sound like a politician, not giving any answers or anything like that. But
right.
It was still a good. It was still a good interview. I just, like I said, Greg Roman's was just spectacular. I thought, I give that one an A+.
Very much.
So
very much. So good interview. If you want to take a look at it, I mean, to me, there's a lot of, once again, ambiguity.
There we go. Ambiguity.
Yeah. But at the same side, it's a very good interview to be able to take a look at. And once again, it's always good to hear from Jim Harbaugh. He always has a lot of Harbaughisms that he throws out there that I love, which we need to make shirts out about a lot of Jim Harbaughisms for sure. So I think it's good stuff. So I'm excited about it, and I'm ready for what this defense can be, because I think we've even thrown some things out there talking about how the defense could be, and some people ranking us as the second best defense in the league, which is, I think that is extremely high with this team. I do not see us as the second best because I think there's a little bit of gaps within this defense. And I think there's some things that are going to be, I'm unsure about so far, but let the season develop. Now, I will say one thing about the Jim Harbaugh interview. I think he did talk about that you could only find out so much about the interior defensive and offensive lines when you don't have pads on, because they're not hitting people. They're not moving people around. It's only, and he talked about basically, it's like the first step is what he wants to see. Yeah. Like, what is your choice on that first step? And I think that's the one thing that we will figure that out within training camp. Now, go back to, I believe it was one of the meetings that he had with the media about saying he'll find out what the O-line is about 8 to 10 practices into the camp. Basically, that's who he'll decide who's going to be starter, who's going to be here and there and everything too. So basically about 8 to 10 practices in, they will figure out who's the right guys for the position. So bottom line, exciting offseason so far. I cannot wait. We're basically 1 month or less actually till the training camp starts. So we're very, very close to that. And we're excited about that. But
yeah, it'll be interesting. The one other thing I'll add to it, and then we'll move on. But he did talk about the right side of the offensive line. You got Mekhi Becton, and then you got Joe Alt, and dude, that side is going to be just ridiculous, dude. Yeah. So the argument is, and again, this is why Zion is so important, because he's so much smaller than everyone else on that line. If you could move, Bozeman to that left guard spot, at least they'd be more balanced on both sides of the line. It's just different when you have Zion there, because he's only 320. Yes, he's very strong, but he doesn't have that size the same way, right? So anyways, yeah,
he's a smart dude though, so I think he's getting all the chances he possibly can get to take that job. I mean, centers get paid good money versus left guards or right guards.
But here's the thing too. Everyone on that line wants to be able to have a couple of different positions they can play. You just become more valuable anyways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Jamari Salyer. Jamari Salyer, a lot of people really like him, but the problem is, I mean, he can play pretty much anywhere up and down the line. Probably, actually, he did mention something about him in center as well, too. I don't think he'll be a center.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if he ends up going into free agency, he's still more valuable because he's played certain positions, right? So why wouldn't you want to be able to cross train and play different? I mean, Pipkins, he's going to eventually be, he's going to be our sixth swing tackle. But the reality is, he can play guard or tackle, right? And that has a ton of value. Anyways, we'll stop talking about the offensive line.
Yep. No, I mean, we could go on that for a while. I mean, even just to throw out quick, Andre James could play left guard, right guard, and center too. So it's going to be a lot of shifting of players within that position. But moving on to the defense, which is exciting. Jesse Minter's defense last year performed extremely well, right? And there was a lot of one-year type contracts that we threw out there, a lot of guys to fill gaps and everything too. But they performed extremely well last year. And you know what I expect? Once again, sometimes it's not about the players that are on field. It's the scheme that's provided to the players that make them better. So think about Poona Ford leaving. He was kind of a good, tackle, nose tackle with the defense. He did well with us. He ended up signing with the other LA team, which the Rams will have a phenomenal D-line next year.
Yeah, they're going to be amazing. Yeah.
Great D-line. It's going to be a very, very good D-line. And he'll probably thrive over there too. But now we got a lot of gaps that we filled with a lot of one-year based players again at the D-line. So, but we brought guys back like Poona Ford, or T.R. Tart, and you got obviously your Tito Obonya, you got Matlock, you got, Justin Aboigbe and all these different things. But there's a lot of change at the D-line position, which is my biggest concern. But I'm going to start first with our leader on defense, our guy right here.
Derwin James.
DJ, let's go.
He's got patches for days, by the way, on that right shoulder there, and he wants to get it down to the rib cage, like Jim Harbaugh said in the interview.
Yeah,
there you go.
But bottom line, the thing about it is like Derwin James is an absolute leader to this team. He is a trendsetter. He is one of those now 10 guys that are the elite guys that are just going to go out there and play ball, and they want to basically be better every single day. And so what I'm focusing on is our safeties group. Obviously, you got, Alohi Gilman's also in that picture. Love to be able to have him back. You got, obviously, Elijah Molden, too, who was last year a late addition to this team with the late round pick, and you got a great player out of this guy. Tony Jefferson, obviously a great vet guy that basically has been in the system with the Ravens, that has history with Jesse Minter. And then you end up drafting RJ Mickens, who's getting some love too in camp too. So like
big time,
really, really good deep safety group, in my opinion, all around. So what's your guys' thoughts on the safety group specifically? Do you feel it's a weakness or strength of this team?
I think we're strong there. I literally do. In fact, I don't think there's a spot in the defensive side of the ball that we really need to worry about overall. Yeah. I think we're going to be great.
Sure.
Well, because the only argument is you say, well, anyways, I think our safety is going to be great. And remember, too, they're going to be cross-training, too. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be also running corners, right? So that's one of the reasons why we wanted Alohi Gilman Elijah Molden. Is he can play cornerback as well. So the argument is all those defensive backs, don't think of them as just a safety or a cornerback. Yep. They are going to be cross-trained. They are going to know how to play safety, know how to play all these different positions. And I will say one thing, and I know this is getting ahead of a little bit of the edge rushing room, because we are going to talk about that as well too. Derwin James is an edge rusher as well. Let's not get that. Let's not forget about that, because when he comes down and he lines up on the edge, he's an edge rusher, and he will. I think he's got a 33% success rate and at least getting a pressure. So, dude, he knows what he's doing when he comes down in the box. So again, I think the cornerback room can really support the edge rushing room if the edge rushing room is struggling. So I just think that, anyways, a lot to be said about that, but I think we're solid across the board. You can always add more depth. We'll talk more about one person we might add, but you can always add more depth. But I think we're very good right now.
Yeah. I mean, I do worry about it though too. Like, so apparently, like some of the early reports from minicamp though show that Dante Jackson was actually getting burned a lot by.
That's a cornerback though. That's cornerback.
I guess that's well. I was thinking whole defensive backs. I was thinking defensive backs situation. Yeah. So,
but I mean, even to say that, like, they're obviously not wearing pads and they don't want contact. They, that's the idea of it too. I mean, when you have pads and you could feel like you could try to do that extra effort thing, go after the ball or whatever it is, it makes a difference in the game kind of thing. And, right now they're just letting, Justin Herbert throw BBs all over the field essentially at this point, but it's all about being in the right position more or less for that too. So yeah, and we'll talk about cornerbacks here shortly too.
Yeah.
But I will say the one thing too about Derwin James, you let Derwin James play down in the box and then you got two safeties to back him up or whatnot in the backfield. It's dangerous. Like, think about how Elijah Molden and Lohi Gilman are. If they could basically be those guys to really cover basically Derwin James, allowing him to be a free rusher, that's a dangerous defense all around. That is a dangerous defense.
So let me add one little thought on this. We already talked about this quite a bit, but Trikweze Bridges, and who's the other guy? RJ Mickens. Yeah, in the 7th round, right? They're both, by the way, they're defensive backs, and I say that across the board. I think Bridges played down the box a lot like Derwin James did as well too. So he's done it all, right? And RJ Mickens did it all as well, right? So I'm just saying that is the formula moving forward with that defense, that they want to have guys. And again, part of the reason why they dropped so far down in the draft was they weren't just a corner. They weren't just a safety, right? And that does hurt their draft status a lot, because how do you evaluate them, But the good thing about us is they don't have to be ready to play immediately, right? They can be there and double train, understand how to play both sides of the ball, or both positions at least. Play special teams, and then just step in, when injuries occur. I mean, God willing, they don't happen that often. But I'm just saying, blanket statement, you can't really be a one-trick pony, I think, on either side of the ball. I think this regime has shown that they want you to be able to play a lot of multiple positions.
Right.
Yep. No, absolutely. I mean, just to lead right into your point of talking a little bit more about the cornerback side of group too. You got your Cam Harts, you got Tarheeb, still absolute rocks for us, dude. Now, I will say Cam Hart, it's about injuries with him, because he did get beat up, but the talent is definitely there all around for you. And to Kyle's point, you obviously got Dante Jackson out there, who's more of a ball hawk kind of guy than anything. He will jump routes. Yeah. He will go after the big play. But at the same side, that's where the safeties come in to be able to cover that guy too. I would assume whoever Dante Jackson is covering, they're going to put two mans on him too, one high, one low. They're going to allow Dante to play his game, play a little bit more free.
Okay. All right.
I think that's what's going to happen. And then you obviously got Dean Leonard out there, the Trikweze Bridges, who was a cornerback. Actually, he was a safety initially with Florida, I believe it was. And then they put him down to cornerback.
Right. Yep.
And then he played extremely well at cornerback. The dude's got size and speed. It's just about showing it on the field at this point and doing better at that.
You're 100% right. And Cam Hart would have been higher drafted, but he had injury issues.
Yep.
And he's had injury issues in the NFL. So
exactly.
Again, this is one thing that I've always found so interesting about a lot. Like, why do people slip? I think a lot of times it's injuries. Is there enough to evaluate? I mean, another good example, Oronde Gadsden, and we're not talking about the offense.
Yeah.
But Oronde Gadsden plays a slot tight end. There are very few offenses that care about that. They care about you blocking, and and again, he's a niche player, right? So again, that's why I think it's so interesting. So the defensive back room is going to be really interesting to see how it gets comprised. I think it's solid, and a lot of people are really underestimating the two cornerbacks, Benjamin St-Juste and also Dante Jackson. I think they're going to be fine as well. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, and it was interesting, and I want to say it might have been it was one of the interviews for one of the coaches this week. I want to say it was the defensive back coach. I'm not sure who it was, but he was talking a little bit about, Tarheeb Still. Tarheeb was at some level. I think he was either third or fourth in rankings to be able to be a defensive player of the year last year.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy was an absolute stud for us, an absolute gem for us in the 5th round. But he was talking about what was from last year to this year in the contrast of who he is. And he sounds like he's a way more mature guy, really absorbing in what the coaches are trying to teach him to be a better player all around. And if you and I've seen some of those videos of him doing backpedaling and everything too, and he just looks very fluid all throughout. I mean, Tarheeb to me is a guy that could be an absolute difference maker to this team. If you get Dante Jackson getting 5 picks, you get Tarheeb getting 5 picks. That's massive for this team all around. And then you get Derwin involved in a little bit of that too, with even Elijah Molden, who had a fair amount of picks last year too. It could be a very heavy turnover-based type defense this year. And that's, I think, where their idea is what they're trying to do. And it's really going to be big on the whole cornerback room. So I'm excited about this cornerback room because I think it could be very, very deadly all around. So I'm excited about what they could do this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
cornerback room at all. Not one bit.
So that was one thing that I analyzed on Jim Harbaugh's defenses from all the way from his time at the Niners, because you look at his interception turnover ratios, it was high 20s, I think he had anywhere from 20 to 30 turnovers, takeaways, whatever you want to call it, every single year that he was with the Niners. He puts a huge emphasis on getting the ball away from the offense. And that's kind of what he's looking for. So that's probably why he went after Dante Jackson and why he likes, he was a ball hawk over there in his college days as well. So it's going to be good. That's obviously what we need to do. What we're kind of leading towards for sure. Big time.
And I mean, to also Jim Harbaugh in his interview they had too, he talked a little bit about Jaire Taylor and him having some injuries that he was trying to work through too. And he was talking about in camp, and he was like, hey, look, he's looking actually fresh and looking really, really good right now too. So that cornerback room is pretty well built out. Now I'm going to throw a little bit of wrench in this whole situation because of the talk that's been happening too with, Derwin James's friend from Florida State.
We'll save that at the end. We'll save that at the end.
We'll save that at the end.
Actually, we can do it now. We can do it now if you want. I put a slide in for that as well too. But
I can pull up that slide real quick if you like.
Yeah. We may as well do it now. Now, so I'll add one thing about Jaire Taylor. Jaire Taylor, no joke, guys. He had a broken bone in his leg, and he was still out there playing. Guys,
crazy.
That's freaking nuts. And you could argue all day he didn't have a great year. Cool, I get that. But the reality is, you go out there and play in the NFL with a broken bone, dude. It ain't going to happen. None of it. We wouldn't be out there anyways. I ran a 5K this week, and I about had a damn heart attack. And I used to laugh at people running 5Ks. Like, you little weenie running a 5K. I'm over here. I can't even believe it. I was like, wow, I have slit my running abilities. But anyways, pull it up. So I would just say this: Dean Leonard is still great, and I really think Jaire Taylor is going to be good as well too. But I had a great conversation with a guy that's a big Dolphins fan. I'm not sure if he's on now, but told him about the podcast. He's actually a huge Dolphins fan. I'm going to probably do a whole video on this as well, too. But let me just say this about Jalen Ramsey. Apparently, there is a major – he wants to be gone. He does not want to be there anymore. And it's starting from the head coach down. He wants to be gone. But he has got a thick contract.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins do not want to pay his contract at all.
Yep.
So whoever takes his contract is going to have to pay his entire contract, and it is expensive. So, again, how that's going to play out for the Chargers, because I think they would love to have him, but I don't foresee us really space. $20 million, guys.
That's
$20 million. That's a lot of money.
For this year alone, right?
This year alone, and then it gets bigger. So,
well, his cap number this year is $16.6 million with a guaranteed salary of $24.235 million. It's a cap hit dead money if they cut him right now would be $49.48 million. But cap hit on them right now is $32.787 million. So the thing is, though, it technically can be a 1-year contract of whoever takes it in, because they can cut them if they're absorbing that contract.
Correct.
So next year they can cut them and say you could do a cap saving of $6.5 million. Now, it would be cool to see Jalen Ramsey with the Chargers, in my opinion. But at the same side, do you feel more comfortable with the cornerback room that you have right now, feeling like Jalen Ramsey would enhance that room? Or is it too filled out of a room at this point? So, and it's the same side. We still need to get, Rashawn Slater under contract too. And so we got plenty of money in 2026. It's just 2025 is a little bit of an issue, where if a trade does happen, which I was reading some articles about that, they were saying possibly like a 4th round pick. I don't know where the money gets shifted at that point. Is it are the Dolphins going to pick up some of the salary, or the team that's trading for him is going to take all the salary? Who knows? But Chargers don't really have that money unless they make some sort of deal with money with the Dolphins to make it happen. So
and it sounds like they are not going to eat that contract at all. Apparently, they are like, nah, we're not doing it. So
crazy.
Yeah,
well, Tyreek Hill did just have talk about like how he's going to go meet with Jalen Ramsey to try to convince him to stay with the team and yada yada. But I mean, if the coach and the players got a fractured relationship, it ain't going to go far, dude.
See, and I think that's the problem. The guy I was speaking to, huge Rams fan, right? Or not Rams fan, Dolphins fan. I said this because I do think he could go back to the Rams. That's one of the other teams that was talking about potentially going to. But how good would the damn Rams be at that point? I mean, come on, But look, I just, as much as I've said, it would be nice to have. Now, one other thought: Jalen Ramsey is really more of a kind of a lockdown man corner. We don't really run man. We run zone more than anybody in the league. We are zone. That is what we run. So it doesn't quite fit what Jesse Minter does. Having said that, though, I would say this. Jesse Minter talked about that. He said, that's not to say that if we had someone like Jalen Ramsey that we wouldn't change up the defense. He's just playing with what he has on the field and ready to play, right? So it would switch if you had someone like a Jalen Ramsey. Then he'd say, all right, bud, you take away the number one wide receiver. He is your guy. You're all over him like ugly on an ape. That's it. You're done, dude. And that's it. So anyways, my point is, again, does he fit the money? I just think we're going to give our money to Rashawn Slater. I think that's where it's going to go. And unfortunately, Jalen's not going to be playing with Derwin, at least for this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's very possible because we still need to get that contract locked in for Rashawn Slater. But man, I hope he handles what he needs to handle first, though. Because the unfortunate situation that he's got going on. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind if we can somehow make it work for Jalen Ramsey to come on our team. That would be amazing. I would love to see that happen.
It would be amazing. He's a bit of a diva, though, guys. Do you remember that? You got to remember that. He's a bit of a diva. And so, again, I've said this over and over again. Tyreek Hill's a diva. Jalen Ramsey's a diva. I don't know. So,
yeah.
I'm going to throw out something, and I know we're a Chargers podcast, but I know he wants to be on the West Coast. And, you got to think of the limited amount of teams there. You got, obviously, Seahawks. You got, Niners. You got Rams. You got Chargers. You also got, technically you throw in the Arizona Cardinals, too. And then you got the Raiders.
Come on.
You got the Raiders. And they have $32 million still to spend. So, or excuse me, $36 million.
That's not West Coast either.
But here's the thing, though. He could absorb. They could absorb the contract. That's a good point. I mean, they could at least absorb the contract.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And the thing about it is, too, in Vegas, there's tax differences, just like where he's out in Florida. Same thing out in Vegas. You make more money out there. So, and the Raiders have a terrible backfield. Does he want to go to a team like that? That it could be potentially a dumpster fire this upcoming season.
Right.
I don't know. So, anyways, we'll see where it goes and where it leads with Jalen Ramsey. I think it would be great to see him with Derwin.
I could see, I'm looking at the cap space for the Niners. They got like $45 million left.
Crazy.
They got
so if he wants to go to West Coast, that's a good spot. I mean, I'm trying to see.
That's probably the spot that makes the most sense, I think.
Seahawks got 30 million or 31 million available. So yeah, like I'm looking at these caps, and yeah, I mean, it's very possible he could make his way back even to the Rams. They get 20 million left to go. So I mean, he can come back all the way to LA.
Don't go to the Rams, dude. Golly, that team's already going to be good, man. I mean,
right?
They're going to be freaking good.
They're be really good.
I mean, especially, I mean, they're going to be a great defense. I mean, yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But here's the thing: it will happen before camp starts, I believe.
Yep.
So so again, he's one guy to watch. What was the other guy? Again, what's going to happen with Keenan Allen? Keenan Allen hasn't signed anywhere.
People even talking about Asante Samuel Jr. too. Yep. It's probably going to be something like that before training camp type thing.
Yeah.
So there's a fair amount of players
I was thinking about would be the Lions, but he says he wants to be on the West Coast, so the Lions wouldn't work for him. But yeah, anyways, I mean that's a good team. They could use them for sure.
I mean, Lions got plenty of cap available right now too. They got 40 million available. Yeah,
crazy.
I mean, I guess if he does want to go to just a coast, the Patriots also have 60 million available. but they're not
that's even northeast. That's way
east. So but that'd be wild if he goes over there. Yeah. So
either way, man, I'm excited to be able to see where that leads. And
one last thought about Asante Samuel too, guys. I think his injury is worse than a lot of people are talking about. There has to be a reason why he's not getting looks. So there's something going on there. And again, for HIPAA laws, they're clearly not going to explain, well, he's got a huge neck problem or he's got a really bad back problem or something. There's got to be something else going on. And I know he's probably asking for a lot more money than he probably will get.
Yeah. But
he will have to settle for something at some point and go there. But he probably will end up on a pretty crappy team, like maybe the Patriots or one of these other teams. So yeah.
So are you saying he's not an ambi-turner anymore? So he can't turn.
He's not an ambi-turner.
No.
I mean, something's because I thought it was a problem with our defense. Maybe he didn't like the way we were running defense. I think it really is an injury now at this point. I originally, because I was kind of hearing, which is sad because I love Asante. I think he's so cool, man. We interviewed him. Interviewed him, and he was such a cool guy. And I was like, man, you always want him to succeed, but dude, it's tough. Can't make the club in the tub.
That's right. That's right. Can't make the club in the tub, dude. But moving on to some of the defense too, and to me, this is where the concern is with this defense is the interior D-line. The D-line's got some big dudes. I mean, we got Jaire Tart back. We brought in Deshaun Hand. Justin Aboigbe is one of those guys that was a lot of hype, added some muscle. Kind of last year was kind of his redshirt freshman type year for this team. You got Scott Matlock, who wants to become an all-pro at defensive tackle, and then it's all these things that he keeps talking about. You got Jamari Caldwell, big guy. Just basically, he's going to be a run stuffer, in my opinion, as a player for us. You got Tito Bonia and Naquan Jones, too, also added to this team. Now, I separated the defensive edges to a different group because that's a different conversation with those guys.
Right. Yep.
But there's a lot of motion of players in this area of the defense. Now, once again, I go back to the point. The defense that Jesse Minter's scheme makes players better, I think. Yeah. And I feel like bottom line, we could almost plug and play all these players in and they'll play at a very high level for us. But I get concerned about having these big games where we're giving up 150 something yards on the run game and everything too, because we did have some issues with that last year. So you hopefully kind of what's happening this year that Jamari Caldwell, I think, will be that kind of first down, second down, short yardage type situation guy for us that I'm kind of putting a lot of pressure on and hoping also Justin Aboigbe to really show out this year for us too. So is it a strength or a weakness for an interior defensive line, guys? What's your thoughts?
Well, currently the lineup that we have in a base 3-4 defense for the Chargers is Deshaun Hand, Jaire Tart, Tito Aboigbe. So that's our front guys. And I imagine, we'll probably, the front, maybe first down, second down could be a 4-3 setup. And they would probably be T.R. Tart and Jamari Caldwell going in the middle there. So, yeah, I mean, like it'd be interesting. Like I would want to see Caldwell in action some more, so that he gets more reps as a front line, right next to T.R. Tart, learning from one of the greats, I would say. So that'd be good.
So interesting. Like if you look at the roster for the Chargers, Jamari Caldwell is the only defensive tackle listed.
Yeah.
I thought that was really interesting. I was like, wow, why would he? And I think he's our nose. So you're right. First and second down, he's our guy, right? So jam the middle, jam the A gap, jam the B gap. That's it. That's all he's gonna do. Remember, when we talk about defensive line for Jesse Minter's scheme, it is not about sacks. Okay.
No.
It's about block destruction. It's about just jam the middle. If that line goes right, you get into a gap and you disrupt them going right? And so you don't allow them to do what they're trying to do. And that's what Jamari Caldwell's good at. Like that's really all he did at Oregon. And again, you might say, well, he didn't get sacks. Well, the other guy did. What was the guy's name that got drafted before him?
Eric Harmon.
Harmon. Yeah. Harmon was the one that got the sacks. Jamari did the dirty work. We'll leave it at that. That's a better way of saying it. So Harmon got all the accolades, all the flowers, but Jamari did the hard work and the heavy lifting. So, but the other person I would say, Jamari and T.R. Tart are pretty much the two guys that'll most likely be the defensive tackles for the Chargers moving forward. But yeah, I mean, I'll say this too. If we're going to be a good team this year, our rookies really need to do well this year. If that happens, we're going to be in, because a lot is on this young man's shoulders. We are expecting a lot for him. And Uber says it perfectly here. Push, collapse the pocket, block destruction. That's all their job is to do. Get the edge rushers, let Derwin James, a linebacker. Those are the guys that are going to put the QB on the ground, right? But those are the guys we're just going to be focusing.
Bingo. That's exactly it. Allow lanes to be open allow our linebackers, our edge guys to do what they need to do. Make it hard for the quarterback and keep them uncomfortable in the pocket. And go back to Jamari Caldwell. He did have 6.5 sacks in 2023 with Houston. 2 sacks in 2022. The guy has sack ability. Guy has sack ability, but he was played as that guy of just being a disruptor to allow other people to thrive. So those are stats that are not talked about a lot with this kind of position, in my opinion. But I think Jamari could be that disruptor, and I'm excited to be able to see him out on the field because open up for Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, all these other guys, Daiyan Henley, Denzel Perryman, and obviously we got other guys that we're going to chat about in those groups too. So, I'm excited, but I do feel a lot of weights on Jamari.
But he's a Harbaugh guy too, right? Because he's been through a lot. Like he was a JUCO guy. Yeah. JUCO. Then he went to Houston, did great in Houston, transferred to Oregon. And sometimes the transfer portal doesn't work out for people, right? I mean, look at DJ Ungale on our team right now. Transferring was not a good thing for him. Funny enough, Matt, I know we're talking about offense, but Matt Money Smith says that DJ Ungale looks better than
Trey Lance.
Oh my gosh, Trey Lance. There we go, Trey Lance. I couldn't remember his name. So I'm just saying, guys, like just because you're drafted high doesn't mean you're really going to fit into a system. Sure. The good thing is he's a block destruction guy, and again, he's a Harbaugh guy too. I think that's a roundabout way of saying that he's a Harbaugh guy, and I'm excited he's on our team.
Yep, stout dude, 6'1", 340 pounds, dude. Butt and gut, bro. Butt and gut.
Let's go.
So I'm excited about that, and to be honest, yes. That's the area of concern I have because there's a lot of motion there, but I think that we're going to do well. Once again, scheme matters. Go back to DJ Ungale. Yeah. Maybe it's the scheme that's going to matter for him. Maybe all of a sudden he's going to be a better quarterback with his team. I mean, it's not like for a lack of talent. The guy's got plenty of talent, high-level recruit, by the way.
Do you remember he was like number 2? Who was the guy that went to? Oh my gosh, he's plays for the Panthers now. Why am I drawing blank on his name all of a sudden? The quarterback. Anyways,
Bryce Young.
Yeah, Bryce Young and him were 1 and 2. They were the guys, and he did great in Syracuse. He should have stayed there. He just made some bad decisions. So it's funny because I was thinking about this draft a lot too. I think the trading portal helped people and it also hurt people. So. you have to kind of make some decisions. And so here we go. This was it. Ungalele. There we go.
Ungalele.
Nope.
Yeah, because
Nope.
that's Leilei, I think again. So yeah.
This is it. Uiangolele. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, I just Googled it. Yeah.
Nailed it.
You just Googled it.
I just Googled it.
Okay, that's good. Okay, I like that. I like that.
Uiangolele.
Yeah, Bryce Young was the number 1 draft pick, but again, I'm just saying DJ was right there with him out of high school. And so Clemson. Yeah, thank you, LOD. Yeah, Clemson, not Syracuse. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to be able to see that group though all around and see how it goes. Yeah. Going to the edge group, and I'm separating the edge from the defensive line just because I feel like they function differently.
Very, very much so.
But you got basically your Khalil Mack, your stable, your horse there for you guys. And then you got Tuli Tuipulotu at this point, looks like is going to be that starter guy. And to be honest, he had the most sacks 100%. On the team last year. So
yeah, he did.
I'm excited about that. Then you obviously brought back Doug. I said Doug Dupree, but Dupree.
Doug Dupree.
No, he's Dupree.
Yeah. I said Doug Dupree, dude. That was hilarious.
Dupree.
Doug Dupree, then Butt Dupree.
Oh my gosh, what's going on here?
So Bud Dupree, he did end up getting an extension with the Chargers too, so which is great to see. Troy Dye, who's a good guy, a very good depth guy, great guy that you could actually add to the whole special team side of things too. He's going to be a good addition, but now it's those 4 guys essentially there for our edge for us. I mean, Tremont Morris-Brash was a guy that got a lot of hype last year too. But I think it's a pretty solid group all around. I think it really boils down to, I also forgot to add our draft pick, Kyle Kennard too.
Kyle Kennard, yeah.
Too. That's right.
But it's really going to depend on how Tuli Tuipulotu really goes out there as a starter now. That's really how this edge group's going to go. But go back to that point. If Jamari Caldwell is lined up next to Tuli Tuipulotu and does what he basically did at Oregon and helping out, what's his face that ended up getting drafted ahead of him. Why can I not think of his name when I just said his name? But anyways, if he could basically be the disruptor, our edge group's going to be more than fine. And they're going to get plenty of pressure out there all around. So it's really going to depend a lot about that interior D line to really make this edge group be what they need to be. So, so anyways, just your thoughts. Is it a strength or weakness for us on this group?
I think it's a strength. Anytime you got Khalil Mack for sure. And then Tuli, I think he's ready to make that step. He's been healthy. He won't be playing special teams anymore. The person that will step up will be Kyle Kennard. Kyle Kennard has to step up in that position. So, but I do wonder. So you got Bud Dupree. So those are the top 4. But I asked myself this question. Probably Chris Collins, I would say, might have a hard time making the squad. Tremont Morris-Brash, we'll see what happens with him. But yeah, I mean, we did pick up quite a few of undrafted free agents. We got 3 rookies as the edge group. So we'll see who makes it, who doesn't make it. But it's an interesting group. What I would say is this too: if you could put 2 seconds on and put some pressure on the QB, our defensive back group doesn't need to be that great, right? No. Because then the quarterback's got to throw the ball, got to make a decision. You want to rush them. You want to get that person to get the ball out quick. So I'm just saying that I do truly believe if we can hit that 2-second clock, or just to move the guy out of the pocket or something, that'll make a huge difference. And that's what we want to do. Pressure that guy. That's all we need. You don't have to get a sack. Just pressure him.
Force him to make mistakes and bad throws and feel desperate to make a throw. And that makes the defensive backfield even better, which I think we have a very good backfield.
Correct. So see, but again, they work in tandem. Now I'll say this: I think Khalil Mack led the league in pressures. Correct me if I'm wrong in that. He had a really high pressure rate last year, and Tuli is very good. He's very solid, good at setting the edge. He does a lot of what Joey Bosa did without all the injuries of Joey Bosa, right? And that's the part. So, and here we go, teasing the chat. I mean, I'm telling you, man, like Tuli, he's ready. He's ready to make it happen. I mean, so
amen. I can't wait to see it. I mean, it's essentially our core 4: Tuli, Mack, Bud Dupree, and Kyle Kennard at this point for our edge group. So Kyle will get some reps here and there and everything too, but those are our core four and everything. And I feel pretty good about that group. I think all around, and Jim Harbaugh did talk about in the interview, he's like, hey, like Khalil Mack still plays like he was 21 and he's 34 now, kind of thing. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited for that group. And I think they're going to be eating quite a bit this year too. So
100%. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see Kyle Kennard in action just because he's also a Kyle. So Kyle. That's right. Yeah.
Is he going to be drinking monster drinks before the game and everything too?
Oh yeah, you bet it, man. He's going to be punching some drywall. I'll ship him some drywall fresh every single Sunday.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's good, dude. That's good. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Edge group. I think it's going to be fun to watch them guys. So all around. So jumping over to the next position here, guys. So obviously our linebackers. We got a good linebacking core, right? Daiyan Henley, absolute stud. Guy needs to be a Pro Bowler. Guy could be an absolute, let the White Ranger do his thing this year. I think he's going to play extremely high level this year, and I think he's only getting better as obviously part of that elite group that Jim Harbaugh talks about too. The guy's in there all the time. Denzel Perryman is another guy who's an absolute thumper for us. It sucks that he went down during the Houston game because Denzel is an absolute force, in my opinion. I love having him with this team. Troy Dye, obviously another guy who's a good special teams guy for us all around. Del'Shawn Phillips is another guy that we brought in too. We have a very good group. Now, Junior Colson is the guy who is also in this photo who is looking absolute jack there, number 25 behind Daiyan. Yeah. I think last year was a lot of injury situation with him. The guy knows Jesse Minder's defense already. He's a plug and play kind of player guy. That's the X factor guy for this group, in my opinion. Junior Colson's got to be that guy that can make this linebacker group to another level. If he could come back and be extremely healthy this year, this guy's going to be an absolute beast. And he looks like an absolute jacked homie there, by the way, in this photo. So strength and weakness to this team, linebacker group. What's your guys' thoughts?
No, I agree. I think you said it perfectly. I don't. The one thing, Daiyan Henley's wearing the green dot now. So he is in charge. And so Derwin James did say, hey, man, you got to step up and be more vocal. I'll handle the back end. You handle the linebacker room. So, and LOD even said too, Troy Dye is highly underrated. He's a great special teams linebacker. They brought in another guy. Who was the other linebacker they brought in that was a good
Del'Shawn Phillips?
Oh, yeah, Del'Shawn Phillips. There you go. So he's a lot like Troy Dye. I can't remember exactly how he is managed in special teams, but either way, they're in the middle of the field, if I remember correctly, a little more. But their job is to really get the guy on the ground as much as possible. But I would say this: it could look. It's going to really boil down to these two guys. Daiyan Henley has to have another great season, and Colson, he needs to step up and show it. Harbaugh did talk about him, that he got off to a slow start in his interview that we talked about. That was another thing he talked about, is that, he just struggled, appendicitis, all this other stuff. And look, if he can get off this season the right way, because he can do everything that Daiyan Henley does. He's sideline to sideline. They are just as fast. I mean, and he's even bigger, right? I mean, he's huge. He's freaking, how big is he? Let's see.
I'm pulling it up here.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at it right now. 250. 250.
Yeah.
Daiyan Henley's 225.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, like, and by the way, they bump these numbers up. Usually it's like he's probably 220, but Junior Colson's big. I mean, he's a big freaking. Anyways, just saying, if those two guys can have an amazing season, we'll be in great shape. Hopefully they stay healthy. That's all I care about.
Big time.
Yeah, I mean, I have high hopes for Junior Colson. I mean, going back to the Madden thing real quick, but he has shown that he's he right now on Madden, he is like a gold star player. So he actually has really high development capabilities and stuff. So
it is okay.
So that could be a good thing for him. Obviously, he had a bit of injury issues, whatever. So we didn't get to see much of him last year, but that's okay because we didn't get to see much of Daiyan Henley his first year too. But his second year, he showed up and he freaking balled out, man. So I feel like the same thing could happen with Junior Colson. So, and yeah, man. And we all know Troy Dye is really good, and Denzel Perryman is really good. Like they're really this kind of those quiet leaders that you have in the locker room to kind of support the young bloods and stuff like that, you know. So I'm excited for what we got here in the
I think Denzel's good at stopping the run.
Oh, he is. Yeah,
so
he is.
He'll probably be out there a lot more in first and second down. You know, if they think it's a run play, Denzel will be out there, right? Yep. He's not great at coverage. Colson is good at coverage, and so is Henley good at coverage. Right. So, anyways, it's interesting.
The one thing that I always look at these groups now is the amount of layers that we have within this team. Like players that are designed for specific strengths and needs for this team. And having depth on this team, we're past that whole. And I saw a Tom Telesco interview on some podcast just recently, and I was just kept looking at that guy, and I was like, gosh, man, that guy just could not build a team correctly, in my opinion. Just not enough layers. And now we got basically a Joe Ortiz out there that's creating such a good depth all around on this team. And you're bring in young blood to basically add more juice to this team. Like, honestly, it's like year 2 of the Chargers right now, and what they've built on defense and offense is really exciting. Like, we're adding a lot of youth, adding a lot of juice to this team. We're adding a lot of layers of depth. And it feels like it's been a very, very long time since we've had a team like this and built out like this. So, you know, just to kind of give a whole recap of everything, defense, strength or weakness with our team, I would say right now, and I'm going to kind of maybe just give you a little bit of just like a ending thoughts on everything on this too. This is a strength of this team, and I think it only is going to get better than what we did last season. I think there's a lot of layers to this team that could be much more enhanced than what we were last season. I think everywhere around this team is very, very well built. Now, I'm not saying in year 2 we're going to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl. I'd love to see that, but I think year 3 is going to be a big, big, big leap for this team in depth and strength and youth and all around complete long-term depth on this team, because it will be another year that we could add more through the draft, undrafted free agents, everything like that too. But I'm excited about this defense. I think this defense could be great. I think Jesse Minter is going to have a phenomenal season as a coordinator, which I hope that he could be here for another year after this one, because I think he's going to have all the tools to be phenomenal this upcoming 2025 season.
Yeah, I think Mark Davis said it perfect. We're going to be top 10 on both sides of the ball.
Let's go.
We were top 5 defensively pretty much halfway through the season. Then we kind of struggled towards the end. Yep. Injuries started occurring, yada, yada. But and we struggled to stop the run. We were doing great at the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, we were kind of struggling. I'll say this. I think our defense is going to be solid. I think we'll be top 5. I don't know that we – I think we're a better team than we were last year on the defensive side of the ball. And we were great last year. So I fully expect us to be as good, if not better, this season. So, you know, I'll just leave it at that. And bottom line, it's exciting. And again, I don't know that we need someone like a Jalen Ramsey or anybody else. I kind of feel like we have everything we need. And then as the season progresses, when injuries start happening, we'll grab who's best available on the waiver wire, and there we go. We'll fill the gaps as needed. But I just really think I feel like our defense is where it needs to go.
Yep.
Yeah, man. I really feel like I think the analysts are not wrong to think that we're top 2 team. I for defense, I would say, but I would be a little bit more conservative and say top 5. You know, just like we were last year. We were a top 5 defense last year, and I think we have all the pieces in place to be top 5 again. If not, maybe more. Right? We might be able to do better. I hope so. You know, I mean, if anything, it's proven that Jesse Minter's system has made people's careers. It happened for Poona Ford, happened for Elijah Molden. You know, who else is it going to be this year? You know, so I mean, Daiyan Henley, he obviously had a career year. Of course, there's not really much to go off there. You know, but you know. Man, our defense is rocked up, man. You know, blue chewed, ready. You know, it's all good. You know,
we're all bricked up now.
That's right,
bricked up, dude.
But James, I have one more. I put one more slide in there. Yeah.
Yep.
So
pull it up.
Yeah, added that one in there.
Yep. And just to end the show, guys, once again, we talked about it, the swoop and detail gate and everything too. So Saturday, July 12th, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Paradise Point, San Diego, California. So really good situation just to kind of open up before training camp out in San Diego. great time to be able to just get together with fans. So come on out to that. We'd love to be able to be out there. That would be awesome to be able to be out there. Great time always being with fans and everything too. Once again, season's close, guys. We're really close, and I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. So we'll throw this up on our YouTube too, so you guys could all refer back to our posts and throw it on Instagram too, Kyle, and all that stuff. And get people excited about it and get people aware of the situation with Swoop and D Tailgate. So it'd be a great time. So
awesome.
But once again, guys, appreciate all the love and the support, guys. Once again, excited for the season. We're so close. We are so close. We could almost taste it, guys. So looking forward to it, guys. Season's coming up soon.
Awesome, guys. All right. Well, we're the Boat Bros. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Boat Bros.
Right, Boat Bros. Let's go.
Hey, what's up? Cameron Dick here watching Boat Bros podcast.